Moving on. Ooh, this story here is another one. Al, I want to definitely hear your thoughts on this one. Dr. Dre and Nicole Young filed their property settlement agreement, and she's getting $100 million. Young has been ordered to receive $50 million up front and $50 million a year from now. What are your thoughts on the settlement? Of course, we know Dr. Dre is reportedly worth upwards of $800 million, maybe more. What do y'all think? Al, let's start with you on this one. What do you think?
One word, two syllables. Prenup. Saved his ass. It worked. She got hardly nothing. She got a fraction of what he's worth. He's, like you said, he's worth almost $1 billion. She walked away with 100 million, 50 million today. When she got an Escalade, a Rolls Royce. What else did she get? A Range Rover, a motorcycle, some furs, her purses, and her clothes. He basically said, "Get out and good riddance." I mean, this is very, very sad. However, $100 million to any of us, I'll take it, is a lot of money. I mean, she doesn't have to worry anymore. And if she doesn't want to, she doesn't have to work. So, for the rest of her life, she's good. But as it relates to what she should have gotten and what she could have gotten, Dr. Dre won on this one.
Q, what do you think about this?
I said it early on Instagram. She definitely got screwed, in my opinion. I mean, she got 1/8.
That's right.
And that 800 and something million is just the 800 and something million that he put on the books. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the other couple hundred of million that's hid somewhere in the Swiss bank account. She got 1/8, not a piece of property, not a house. She didn't get a piece of curtain. She didn't get no teacups. She didn't get no china. She got 1/8 of the money. And again, it's rich people problems. It really is rich people problems. So are we complaining about somebody having 100 million? No, but I really do think she got screwed.
Dude,
I want to know how you feel about this situation. Our man just lost $100 million, and he got, and really, guys, a lot of you guys are going to focus on the $100 million, and for good reason. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that this divorce cost him. But this was like over a 20-year marriage. So the $100 million is what he had to pay on the back end. That's what he had to pay on the back end. But what about the front? Right? What did he pay during the marriage? She's got all these Bentleys, she's got all these furs, she's got all these shoes. Who do you think bought that? She's unemployed. Now, she's an attorney, but she hasn't worked in years. Why would she work? She's married. Are there any women in the house, right? The women, I mean, what do they say? Like the top 50 richest women, like 80% of them got there because of divorces? Is this why so many black women are single? What did Time magazine say? Time magazine said 62% of all black women are single. They're waiting. Are they waiting on the man? They're trying to get this high value man that the Godfather Kevin Samuels always talks about. It's like, listen, I'm trying to be like, let me share my screen right quick. So who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Bam, right?
What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher, along with an esteemed panel, Black Mello, Kamal Risto, and Sean B. Okay, and look, I don't know if y'all know, y'all probably do. Dr. Dre, man, he just got divorced. $100 million with a prenup. Is marriage still worth it? Now, let me say this. I've been through a divorce, okay? And I could not believe how biased the system is towards women. I could, but going through the system myself, I seen how biased it really was. And I was disgusted by it. I mean, it was just so slanted, in practically every aspect. And it got me thinking about marriage. Then I see Dr. Dre, he gets divorced for $100 million with a prenup. is marriage still worth it, or do you know should you just stay single, or if you marry, you just stay married? What are your thoughts, Sean?
Well, I think that's up to, especially with this young generation, that's up to the individual, because a lot of young people not looking at marriage like, the same construct as, what we were raised with or what we were taught coming up. It's 2021. Well, now it's 2022, so it's going to be a whole new definition of what marriage looks like, long story short, as far as is it worth it, like the main definition that most people know, I think it is. I'm an old soul, so I think it's best to have loved and lost and to never loved at all,
Yeah, but do you have to purchase love? Like you have to, you're taking a huge financial risk with marriage because the court systems are slanted towards women.
Well, again, though, so for me, my definition of what marriage looks like, it may not look like going to the court. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, tell me how it looks.
To be honest, and this may sound crazy, but women really just want the ring token and the commitment, obviously the commitment, but the ring is the symbol to show to everyone else that you're taking it off the market. Now, as far as the financials, I've heard of couples not joining, at least on paper, like, going through filing and blah, 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 because like you said, it costs money to get divorced. And why should you have to have a long drawn out process to say, hey, I no longer want to be with this person? And so a lot of people my age and younger is like, I'm not going to do that. I don't mind having the party and the reception, in front of the family. Like, they kind of bring in like real talk, and this may sound a little too deep for rap, but biblical marriage back, where they trying to go before the family and they having a ceremony, and people starting to do things different is more or less my point.
But here's the thing though, why women, and I could be wrong, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. I don't know what happened to Sean. He dropped off. So Black, you tell me. Women want to get married because it's no risk to them. It's all reward. Not only do they get money to be married to you, but they get money if they decide to leave you. Is that what do you think about that?
I'm a traditionalist, where although it's not always possible, I believe it's a man's job to provide and take care of his whole household. He's the farmer, he's the provider. He tills the land, he waters the land, he produces a crop, he feeds everybody. He's the head of the household. He put the food on the table, you know what I mean? So from that aspect, I believe, that in order for him to maintain, his status in his household, he got to provide. Ain't nothing wrong with providing, for your family, for your lady, because she typically will be rearing up your children. And while she's doing that, she can't necessarily go out there and earn, to the degree that, you can. So you got to provide for her in that aspect. Now, that's going way back. I know modern day times way more simpler, and it's more prevalent now that women are promoted in this environment, and they do have the ability, way more easier than the men, to excel in the work environment, especially in HR and corporate world and all that. so they can provide for themselves, which is a double-edged sword, because if they doing the providing and they know it, then first thing they're gonna say is they don't need you, no man, they don't need you. So, but on the other side, if you got the money and you can provide, for a lot of new school cats is looking at it like, no, I don't, I ain't no trick, I'm not finna, you ain't just looking at me for no bag, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to bring a bag through, because I feel like that's the moral, of today. But it's skewed, it's off, in my opinion. It's just me. It's off, in my opinion. I think when we get back to our traditional ways of old, to where we have a standard that men provide and women nurture, I think we get back on code. You know what I mean?
Hey, Ski, do you think the laws is stopping people from getting married? Do you think the laws is so messed up that it's discouraging men from walking down the aisle?
It's the laws they put in place.
The laws, the divorce, how the court systems is set up, the prenuptial agreements, the alimonies, the child support.
Yeah, that's what it is, And that ring, Lord of the Rings, getting married to the deep state. So you're not marrying just her. You're marrying the deep state. You're marrying the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
But like I said again, according to the truth, let's read. But those that finds a wife finds a good thing. There shouldn't be no divorce at the end of the day. That's entertainment right there. They just
not only is it divorce, but it's no fault divorce now. So it's
like I said,
easy.
If you go that route, like traditional, that's what's up. But again,
it said that 70 to 80% of the divorces is filed by the women. Why do you think that is?
I don't follow their stats. They lie all the time.
Right, but occasionally, well, I wouldn't say occasionally, but statistically that is true. Majority of divorces is filed by women. Why do you think that is?
A whole different world now, Like I said, all that power that the women got, and what the men do. So, what go on out here in this heathen planet of the heathens.
Planet of the heathens. Is that like next to the planet of the apes? I don't know, but
dig that.
But why is that, Black? Why are so many women filing for that? Like, they're the ones who want to get married the most, and then they file for divorce the most.
This just based off, my opinion.
Just your opinion.
I believe that women nowadays have the ability to provide for themselves. So it's easy for them to do away with the traditional provider. I can do it myself is what I hear all the time. So that's the mentality. I can do it myself. I can get it myself.
I don't need
no bad by myself.
Yeah.
I don't need no man. And sadly, it seems like our sisters is the ones that sin it the most. They leading the charge with that type of mentality. I don't hear Jewish women saying that. I don't hear Chinese women saying that. I don't hear Hindu, Indian women saying that.
Or Mexican.
It's black women.
Yeah.
Deep state.
So, it's I don't know if it's something connected to that or what, but with the simultaneously with the lack of resources for the men to adequately provide for themselves and their families because of the policy that was put in place in the 60s, you know what I mean? Like, to keep the bills paid, fed, and all that, couldn't have a man in the house, and that was policy. You know what I mean, that mentality was created then, where the government would supersede the rules of the man in the house, kick him out, and I'll be the father. and I'll help you raise that bastard child you got. You know what I mean? Because we all considered bastards to them. And you heard Trump when he said that. So, at the end of the day, man, it's a sign of the decaying of our own cultural morality, if you will. This is where we have sunk into because we fell so far on our code.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it's about code, man. You know what I think it's about? I think it's about capitalism, man. I think the system is designed to get money out of the hands of men because men won't do nothing but save and invest and get more money and this, that, and the third. I think it's designed to put the money in the hands of the women because women are going to run through the money like water, and that helps corporations. That helps circulate money. That's capitalism. So when there's a divorce, the man got to pay. When there's a child, the man got to pay. When there's anything, the courts is constantly trying to get money out of the hands of the men and put it in women's hands. They don't even if the father is a better father than the mother is a mother, they don't want to give the child to the father because they don't want to have to take that money from that woman and give it to the man. They don't believe in that. I strongly believe this is a capitalism move. Even with a prenup, Dr. Dre had a prenup and he still had to pay $100 million to this woman. Now, shout out to the lead attorney. I was watching the lead attorney, and the lead attorney said a prenup doesn't really save you from paying half or giving up half of your wealth, so to speak. I'm just going by what he said. I don't know all the details about it, but it sounded like she's not going to ever walk away with nothing, even if she signed a prenup. And what he was saying is the prenup mainly only saves you from paying alimony and attorney fees. So if it was alimony and attorney fees, instead of 100 million, it would have been 500 million. Like the attorney fees is probably going to be, 100 million by itself, and she would have got 400 million. So he said for that reason, it was a bargain because he didn't have to give her half of $900 million, which is $450 million.
That's a lot of entertainment, and Dre, he knew what he was doing when he married that heathen. Like James Brown got down.
Yeah.
That heathen.
Yeah,
he lost
knew.
the whole estate. They
You're
all
right.
do that.
You're
Getting
right.
down with them heathens.
He knew.
Planet of the Heathens, remember?
Yeah, you're right. We deep in the Planet of the Heathens with this one because she was actually dating, I believe, an NBA player first, and Dr. Dre stole her from the NBA player.
He stole her, huh?
Pretty much. So she started rocking with Dr. Dre, and she left that NBA dude, and she was already, had her hooks on trying to snag what they call a high value man. She was an attorney herself, so she know all the ins and outs on all of this stuff. She's an attorney. So her move was to get one of these guys with with a high net worth, and
Billy Snake
it is what it is.
Billy Snake got divorced.
Yeah,
it was $1 billion.
Bill Gates got divorced too. Jeff Bezos, he got divorced. But somehow Jeff Bezos, he only had to pay about don't quote me, I'm thinking about 35 billion. Yeah, because he's worth what? But he only had to pay. I don't think it was that much, but it wasn't. She got billions. because he got billions. She got billions. And shout out to ex Mrs. Bezos, because she's been donating a lot of that money to some good causes. I think she even donated some to some HBCUs. Again, money goes through women hands like, you wouldn't believe. So but for that reason, it's for a good cause. She donated to a lot of good causes. She's not trying to hog all the money. Jeff is, when men get money, man, we tend to hog it, save it, or build space stations and rockets and go to the moon. But women, they do humanitarian stuff and they donate to schools and stuff like that. That's why I think that the whole system is set up for capitalism. It's designed to get the money out of these dudes' possession and put it in the women's possession. But that being said, when he got 300 billion, you see what I'm saying? He ain't gonna miss it. Dre, he ain't gonna miss 100 million when he got 800 more. You know what I mean? Tied up in stocks and investments, but he still got it. Those guys ain't gonna miss it that much. So the question is, if you are trying to hold on to your assets, why would you, if you ain't got that much, why would you even get married? It's like, and this is going to sound kind of crazy, but nowadays women make just as much as men. They don't, but they catching up to us. And it's like, but women don't date men who make less money than them, right? So is it ever going to really be worth it to, like, what do you get out of marriage?
Happiness.
I don't want to, put you on the spot here, Black, but you can skip the question if you want, man. But what do you get out of marriage, man, to justify walking down the aisle? And not only that, but to that may sound like a crazy question, because you would think that you get something out, but you don't. As a man, you don't get nothing out of it if it doesn't work. As a matter of fact, you're damaged if it doesn't work. So why would men even take the risk?
It's supposed to work.
It's supposed to, but it doesn't. The majority of the time, it doesn't.
Dig that.
Well, this is again, this is my opinion. Marriage, it don't work because we go into it wrong. We don't know what we doing when we go into it. We off code. So
who off code? We off code, man.
Oh, society. It's whole society's off code. Like mainly our culture, our people. What we got a code we supposed to be on.
Let me ask you this, Black. Let me ask you this question real quick, okay? If me and you, right, we were on a plane, right? We got 2 parachutes. One of them work, one of them don't. Okay. Are you going to want to jump out the plane knowing that one of these parachutes ain't gonna work? Either mine or yours. One of us might land safely, but the other one for sure ain't.
Long question, but you said we off code because we following the ways of the heathens. We off code. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
No, but I want to hit a risk. I want to hit a risk question though. Would you be willing to jump out the plane if you have a 50% chance of your chute opening?
Would I want to jump out the plane?
Yeah. Would you feel comfortable jumping out of that plane if your parachute is only a 50, maybe 40% chance of landing? If you had only a 40% chance of survival?
I wouldn't want to jump out no plane, no way. But if I didn't have no choice, you know,
Would you
have
want
choice.
to? Would you want to have a doctor operate on you if you only got a 40% chance of surviving that operation?
40%.
Yeah.
Again, you know, it depends on. I mean, I don't have no other choice, right? What's the point? What you getting at?
I'm assessing y'all risk tolerance, because I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to marriages, only 40% or so survive. Probably even less than that. Yeah, I mean, to stay married to the same person for, the rest of your life, that's a minority. That's not a majority.
Yeah, like I was saying, man, the reason is because we're off code, and we don't address that in our culture. We are not addressing the real issue here. We will skate around, we will explain it away, no uncertain terms, but the fact remains we are off code. We have a standard, we have a contract that our ancestors signed off on and committed us into. We're supposed to be upholding this contract. To put it in layman terms, it was a contract that it demonstrated, and we agreed to all the conduct that was laid out in there. And if we respected that contract and honored it and stayed in honor, then things will work out for our benefit. We wouldn't have the problems that we see today. But because we break those contractual obligations profusely, this is what we get. We get the results of 40% marriages. And we get, why is it even worth it? And we get the worst end of the stick because we didn't uphold our obligation.
Here's something I know, man. Power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts ultimately. If everything in the universe pretty much is always going to take and this is a law, everything is going to take the least resistance. Okay, if it's easier to get rid of you and still get your money and not have to live with you, they're going to do it. If it's easier to have a child and have you give them the child and then take you to court for child support, they're going to do it. If you have a gun, okay, and you're in traffic, if you have a gun and it's readily accessible, you're probably going to use it, and you're probably going to kill people more than you wouldn't if you didn't have the gun. The point is, when something is an option to you, it becomes an option. And a lot of times those options are exercised on your ass. So the question is it worth the risk anymore to get married? And that's just one example of the risk, because if you know that your woman is probably going to file on you 70 to 80% of the time, 4 out of 5, why even bother? And I know what you're saying with the whole, we out of code and all this other stuff, but I'm going to tell you, man, all that stuff is going to happen irregardless. We're human beings. Ain't nobody perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. The answer, well, I should say, we're all going to make mistakes, but the thing is, they gave more options for us to separate, because it's a hustle for everybody involved. The court systems, the lawyers, the women get rewarded for splitting you from your bucks. They do. and I'm speaking from firsthand experience on this. They get
Well,
rewarded
this
for
is
it.
this is
There is no L's that they have to take. So why is this why our community especially is not getting married? Are men smartening up, or is just women leveling up to the point where there is no available men they want to marry?
listen, man. Strongest image on the planet, man, a woman, and a child. That's the unbreakable power structure. And more importantly, the so-called black man, woman, and child. That's the number one power structure. From them comes all power. So if you can be lied to enough and be told that not important no more, that individualism is more important now, setting goals for yourself, and you can do it on, and you can, and you probably could do it on your own, but you ain't be, you, if you want to go far, right, you go together. If you want to go fast,
Black,
you go by yourself.
You're
So
speaking
hold
from
on. So hold on. So all I'm saying is there is a orchestrated effort to destroy that power structure. And you understand why we so powerless right now. We all, the women's roles is skewed, men's roles is diminished. The kids are confused, and we reaping the benefits of all that right now.
But you're speaking from a moral and an ethical standpoint. I'm speaking from a reality, man. Okay, the reality is, yeah, you could preach all that. You sound like church right now, and that's great. Okay, but I'm speaking from reality. The reality is they made a lot of stuff no fault in a lot of states. No fault divorce. Women don't need a good reason to get rid of you and split you from your bucks and get that child support, because the court systems is going to, they get paid to get your money. They get $1 for every dollar
listen,
they
man,
collect. So if they
man.
in cahoots, they love when the woman is in cahoots, and they make money.
Yeah, to break that family up. You have to incentivize breaking that family up. You have to.
And they got the incentive.
And
so
listen,
so this
the
ain't
coldest
about
part,
rainbows and unicorns.
yeah, sure ain't. Listen, the issue is this, man. We once knew the power that was in a committed relationship like that. Like it was to the point where a daughter had to go. She didn't have no say really. Her father told her who she was gonna marry, and then that young man had to come with that back and pay the father. You know what I mean? Get his approval before anything now, because there was a hierarchy, there was a respect level. The whole village was involved with it, and they all knew what the business was. You know what I mean? So he was held accountable. The whole village held him accountable. He couldn't just mistreat her either. And they stayed together because he was accountable. Because there's a code and
Black,
a culture
that is
to
not
uphold.
that is not what we're dealing with today.
Hold on, that is reality.
That's not.
You don't get it.
No. Okay, you run it, Ski. What is it?
So you saying, because I heard what you said, it's not reality. It sound like church. So when you get married in the name of Jesus, right? You going to a preacher, or you going back to the system they got us in again. And in the name of Jesus, all these good church folks getting divorced in the name of Jesus, huh? Dig that.
Yeah, dig that. They getting married
entertainment.
in the name
That's entertainment. Come on.
Yeah, it is entertainment, because they getting married in front of all these people, and then people don't even really check for the vows anymore, like through sickness and health. Forget that. Like it's a shell game, man. Let's move him over here, and then let's switch it around, and then crap his ass out, really, because
Yeah.
what's going to happen is, even you can say all that stuff and say all the vows and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, no fault to get divorced. You don't need a good
Kanye
reason.
is Jesus, but he got divorced, huh? Get out of here.
Yeah, he got, but that's a good example. I mean,
entertainment. Like I just said, it's entertainment. It's the planet of the heathens. They having fun. Let them do what they do.
Yeah,
those that finds a wife find a good thing.
So but those that find a wife find a good thing. I can't necessarily hold on. Let me say this. I can't necessarily disagree with that, but here's the thing, though, man. That saying is really getting a lot of people really starting to think, because that may have applied back in the day when that verse was written. Okay, but that shit needs to be updated right about now, because when you find a wife, it 8 times, I would say maybe 8 times, 8 times out of 10, it's not going to be a good thing, because she's going to divorce your ass.
Dude, you so mad bitter, bro. But listen.
Now, okay,
this
yeah.
Hold on.
Let me address that.
You called me quick. Hold on, real quick. Listen, he said the man that finds a wife finds a thing. If you married somebody and she, listen, a wife. We talking about a wife, right?
Yeah.
A wife is not somebody that you just, if you find a wife, that means she was before you found it. She was already wife material. She was a wife. She knew what it was. She's built of all the elements that make a wife. So she's gonna be there for you through thick and thin. She's gonna honor those vows. Now, evidently, he's trying to divorce you. That was not a wife. That was your choosing somebody that wasn't a wife. That's a standard you're supposed to have.
That's BS, man. Because what happens is there's a code switch. I know a woman who actually divorced men for a career. You heard me. She divorced men as her career. She goes find men that's well-to-do. She divorced them and she split them from their bucks, and she does this as a career. Okay. They incentivize it so much for the women to divorce the men, that this woman has been divorced more than 3 times. She didn't want to say how many times and how many guys she divorced.
We got a lot of harlots and prostitutes out here. That's nothing new.
But that's what I'm saying.
What are we talking about?
If they given the power, man, they're going to use it, and some of them will abuse that power. So the question is,
if you weren't caught up in your lust, you could have sold all that. You have to have aim out here. You can't. You got to peep what's before you wife her. You can't make a whole housewife.
Well, thanks for joining us. We might have to make a part 2 of this. Since the BMR covered it, now it's official. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and y'all answer the question: Is marriage what it used to be when the Bible said you find a good thing when you find a wife, or is that rule outdated in today's atmosphere? So let us know.